What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. Um, Coming to you guys today with another little mini fantasy booking video. You guys went crazy on the last fantasy booking video I did with how Liv Morgan should return. So I wanted to do a different one. And this is about the downfall or like the of the bloodline pretty much, and the bloodline being over. Now we all seen what happened at Night of Champions. We seen pretty much the Usos get involved, and they accidentally super kick none other than Solo Sikoa, who's the enforcer for the bloodline, and Roman. He saw what happened and he was not happy by any means. He got in there and started parading both Jimmy and Jay. He pushed Jimmy in the face like he did a couple weeks ago, and he did the same thing to Jay. He talked to Jay and he was like telling him like, um, there's no day one anymore. There is no day one ish no more. And he turned around to be super kicked by Jimmy Uso. We've kind of seen this pretty much happening um, for the last few weeks. They've been building up. They've been teasing it. I believe, me personally, if they did this a couple weeks ago, if it wasn't for Jay, Jimmy probably would have done something to him right then and there. He's one of these type of people in the bloodline. Like, he doesn't take nothing from nobody. He doesn't care who you are, and I can respect that. This is giving me like um, how he was in 2021 when he first came back, and he was just like, "I'm nobody's, you know what," and I think and it even showed even after he joined the bloodline, he still was like that type of person. So I want to do this little fantasy booking video on how I think things can play out, after Night of Champions and going forward. I just want to give you guys a little update, just so people who might have not caught Night of Champions or just didn't watch or whatever the case is, here that was for you guys, so you guys can kind of be somewhat up to date in this timeline that I'm going to be building up. So, we're going to be talking about two scenarios, and they're both going to take place at Money in the Bank. But before we get to that, we're going to go to this Friday on SmackDown, because this Friday on SmackDown is the 1,000 championship celebration for Roman Reigns, because he did going into Night of Champions. He held the championship for 1,000 days. I do think he's number five in the most longest reigning championship reigns of all time. He's probably going to move into number four before he drops it. So he'll have that greatest of all time thing that they've been talking about for years now. So, but going into SmackDown, he's going to be celebrating his championship reign, but he's not going to want to celebrate. He's going to want answers. He's going to be like, Jimmy, Jay, come out here, explain yourself. Jimmy is not there. Jimmy is not there, and this precedes Jay to come out. Jay comes out. He's like, I don't know what happened, Roman. I've been trying to talk to him all week and this and that. Roman's not really trying to hear it, and he's like, okay, well, if either somebody's gonna have to pay for this, so if Jimmy is not here by a certain date, you're gonna have to pay for it. And this is gonna make Jay very conflicted. It's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything, and I told you it was an accident. And but Roman is really not trying to hear it, because this is him really showing his true colors, and he costed them the titles at Night of Champions for the undisputed tag team titles. Him and Solo. Now Jimmy comes out the same night, and he was like, he explained himself like why I did what you did, and he was like, Sammy was right about you. You manipulated us from day one. If it wasn't for me and for me, Jay, and Solo, you wouldn't be champion right now. If it wasn't for us backing you time and time again, you wouldn't even made it to 1,000 days. But you want to come out here and berate us and not give us any credit for what we've done. But as soon as we slip up one time, you distance yourself from us. Like that, is that what family does? And he's really speaking facts to Roman. But Roman is always that type of guy. Even if you speak facts to him, he's always going to try to talk to you like you're his kid. He's going to do the manipulation. But Jay is starting. But Jay, not we're not Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy is seeing right through that, and he's trying to tell Jay. That's why he told him. Jay was told by Jimmy, once he super kicked Roman at Night of Champions, he said, I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago. And he says, I gotta do it. And he did it again. And he told Jay, come on. But Jay didn't want to. Jay is like gonna be in this position where He wants to be his brother, but he also wants to stay and have his allegiance with Roman because he knows what happens when you go against Roman because he's been through this scenario before, and he doesn't know if Jay can really be put through the same thing Jay had to go through. Because Jay was in the same position as Jimmy. He was trying to go up against Roman, and it didn't work. It didn't work, and he had no choice but to fall in line. It costed him, like, not only physical stress, but emotional stress as well. Even after he joined, it caused him physical and emotional stress. So he doesn't want Jimmy to go through the same thing that he had to endure years before. But Jimmy is that type of guy. Like I said, he doesn't care. If you come across him and you disrespect him or he feels we're disrespected, he is going to let you know. He has no problem smacking you or hitting you with a super kick. It doesn't matter who you are. It didn't matter if you're an opponent, but in this case, he doesn't even matter if you're family. You disrespect him, you are going to get what's coming to you. Now, like I said, on SmackDown, he does it again. He super kicks Roman again. He's just pretty much unhinged at this point because he's just tired of the disrespect that Roman has been showing him for months and about years now. Years now that they have had to put up with Roman and all his antics. But Jimmy has enough. Now, this is what happens. We could do a scenario. There's two scenarios, like I said, going to Tony Bank. The first scenario is the more obvious one. We could do Roman and Solo because I'm pretty sure Solo was going to want revenge on the Usos because they super kicked him and costed both of them the tag team titles. So there's the story is written there. But the question is, how do you get Jay into the fold? This is why I was like saying maybe this is what happens. The reason why I said they probably shouldn't do that match just yet because I think there should be a reason why. There should be a reason why Jay ends up being with Jimmy. Now, we could see something along the lines just like in the lead up to Money in the Bank. We could see Solo interfacing Jimmy. And it's a good match. It's a good match back and forth as it should be. And then Roman comes out and then he starts beating up on Jimmy. And Jay is being forced to watch it. And Jay is like, stop, stop, stop. What are you doing? Like, you said you weren't going to take it this far. And Jay gets pushed by Roman again. He says, you don't tell me what to do. And Jay had enough as well. And he super kicks Roman now. So now Jay is now on the side of Jimmy. Jay has finally seen the light. And now, you finally get both Usos with Roman and Solo at Money in the Bank. I do think Roman and Solo are going to win. I think they're going to win because I think you want to keep them looking strong. But I think at the same time, it could be a full circle moment at the same time because like now we're starting to see the dissension of the bloodline. As we all know, the bloodline has been the main reason Roman has been keeping the titles. If it wasn't for the Usos or Solo, he would not be a champion as long as he is right now. And I think we're starting to see that. Once we see Roman without the bloodline, that even Solo, he's going to be vulnerable in a very vulnerable state, which is going to be an easy picking for somebody who potentially wins Money in the Bank or somebody who wants to challenge him because he doesn't have that X factor anymore. That X factor is going to be very crucial in this story. Now the other scenario is not one that people are really talking about. Not one people are really talking about, but that is Jimmy Uso versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed titles. This is pretty much what we've seen in 2020 with Jay, but now we're starting to see with Jimmy. Jimmy is in the same position. He's going after the championships. He wants to become the new tribal chief. He said it, the Go Home SmackDown before we got Tonight of Champions. He says when it comes to the day one, when it comes to the Usos, he says, I'm the tribal chief. He said that. He said that, and that preceded Roman to come down, and he was like, he was looking at him like, what did you just say? Did you just say you're the tribal chief? And like, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. And when you look at the last shot you see before the show closes and goes off air, Solo, Roman, and Jay had the ones up, and Roman's holding up the titles. Jay is in the background. Not Jay, but Jimmy is in the background, just like shaking his head, like I don't want to be part of this. He in his mind he's pretty much made a decision that he is done with Roman. He's done with the antics. He's done having to deal with everything Roman had him go through. He's done. He's over it. And now we could see this is why I said this is probably I feel like this is the best situation for Jimmy to go after Roman, but this is a perfect opportunity for Jay to be in allegiance with Jimmy after this. So we had the match. It's just as good as the one we got with Jay, and it's very story driven. I think they're definitely gonna be story driven with this match, and we see Solo trying to pay dividend, and Jay is like, he's conflicted because like, do I help my brother? Or do I help Roman? Do I help Roman retain the titles once again, or do I help my brother Jimmy, who's been like my twin and my brother every step of the way? He's had my back every step of the way. Jimmy took a bullet for Jay. Jimmy took a bullet for Jay at was it Hell in a Cell? And if it wasn't for Jimmy getting choked out, Jay probably could have won. I want to be honest. He probably could have won. When he seen his brother getting choked out, he said, "I quit." So I think we can see a full circle of that. But Jay takes a bullet for Jimmy. That's something I can see happening. We're kind of getting a little bit of the full circle moment, but not all the way. But in a sense of them taking a bullet for each other, because because in 2020 at Clash of Champions and Hell in a Cell, we seen it. We seen Jimmy taking bullets for Jay. He was there throughout the story, and then when he joined the Bloodline, Jimmy was still there for Jay. He was still taking bullets for him. Now we see that be full circle. Now Jay is taking bullets for Jimmy, especially with Jimmy now going up against Roman Reigns. Jay knows what it's like to go up against Roman. He knows the type of stuff that's going to happen. He knows the type of stuff that he's going to try to do. He knows the type of dirty tricks he will try to use to manipulate you. He knows that. He knows that better than anybody. So I think Jay could be like that guy to be like, telling Jimmy like what you're gonna have to go through, this type of stuff that you're gonna have to put up with in this feud with Roman if you want to find some chance to possibly beat him to become undisputed champion. And now we finally at Money in the Bank, we see that match. Jimmy is going in on Roman like Jay was. We have Solo on the outside. We have Paul on the outside. Jay is there too. Like I said, Jay has enough, and he turns and lines himself with Jimmy. Now that could lead to like them getting a title match. Either way, I think it's still gonna lead to like a tag team match or something like that. Or like I said, maybe after Jimmy's been beaten by Roman, they are all in the ring, kind of like how they were at Rumble. The Rumble this year. They're beating up on Jimmy, trying to pretty much kill the guy. Roman's hit him with chairs. Solo's hit him with the spike. Jay is just so confused. He's just so emotional. He doesn't really want to see his brother go through that. He steps in and pulls a Sami Zayn. He had enough. He said, "Stop doing it to my brother." He has enough of them treating, and he finally snaps out of it. Jay snaps out of it. He's seen the light, and he turns. Now we have the Usos in a cohesive front trying to take down the Bloodline, because now we're seeing everything that Sami talked about. He said it. He said it months in advance. He says they are manipulating you. If it wasn't for you, they probably wouldn't be champion. Now it's like, how do you get Solo in the front? Because Solo is their younger brother. Solo is the younger brother of the Usos. So now it's like, well, how do you get him on there? Well, if you keep doing the same thing, maybe something along the lines of, Solo loses a match. Roman berates it. He pushes him. And you don't want to do that. Roman pushes him out of anger. Solo doesn't have it. He hits him with the spike. He doesn't just do a regular spike. He pays homage to like Umaga. He lifts him up and then hits him with the spike on the way down. That's going to be brutal. Now, going into SummerSlam, he's all alone. No help out of Paul Heyman. And I'm pretty sure after Roman loses, Paul Heyman's not going to want anything to do with him. Everything, Sami Zayn said. He literally told him, y'all are the tribal chief. He said that in advance. He said everything Jimmy just said like last week. I'm the tribal chief. He literally said, there's a way out for y'all, and and it's starting to be shown. It's starting to come unfolded. You're starting to see what everything Sammy has predicted. He predicted the future of the bloodline. People are going to start to leave. It's going to start with Jimmy, then Jay, then Solo. Now we're at the point, like I said, he's going to be in a very vulnerable state, and he's going to go into SummerSlam and more likely lose the titles. Because me personally, I don't know how you can actually drag out this storyline until next year's WrestleMania. I just can't see it happening. I'm sorry. You can tell, I think the perfect time to do the whole bloodline crumbling and everybody leaving, you have enough time to do that from now up until SummerSlam. Me personally, if I'm booking this, they should have the final moment of everybody leaving at SummerSlam and Roman loses. So I'm talking about the whole bloodline thing, but I'm gonna talk about this. Money in the Bank. We had the Money in the Bank ladder match. Cody Rhodes wins Money in the Bank. He comes out and says, I'm gonna cash this in at SummerSlam. He's not winning for Mania. He's gonna cash it at SummerSlam, and by then, all members of the Bloodline have done and left Roman. He's all alone and gets beaten by Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is the new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. Now we're gonna see Roman go off on his sabbatical, and then he's gonna probably eventually come back, and then he'll probably want to go on a one-on-one feud with each member of the Bloodline. Not pretty much continuing that story. Maybe that story can lead up to him versus The Rock at WrestleMania 40. I think that's kind of the story that they should be telling with Roman, because I think that's the best story that they could tell with him. Because me personally, I think Money in the Bank is the only thing that kind of makes sense for Cody right now. I don't want to see him go back and win the Rumble. Me personally, if I'm picking somebody to win the Rumble next year, I'm automatically going to be picking Gunther. Gunther or Finn Balor is like my only two that I could probably see winning. Outside of that, I don't know. So that's why I was saying it would be the best time for them to take the title off of Roman. Roman could go back and feud with every member of the Bloodline one-on-one, and then he gets a Solo. Solo beats him, and then he gets irate and he starts attacking them, and it proceeds at a big show like Royal Rumble or something along the lines of that, or even a big episode of SmackDown. The Rock returns, challenges Roman for WrestleMania 40. Who is the true leader of the Bloodline? Who is the true tribal chief at head of the table? That's the story that they could tell. But comment down below. Let me know. How do you guys feel about my fantasy booking idea? Do you guys think some of these ideas could play out? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, hit that post notification bell so that every time I post a new video, we're on the road to 1K. We're at 505 right now. So if you guys are new, love wrestling, horror, gaming, all of that, please go subscribe. There is no catch to it. I definitely guys do not want to miss the more content, the content I am going to be posting in the very near future, especially this week. Catch me live tonight on Tino's channel, Tino's Time. I'll leave the link down in the description. Catch me on there tonight because we will be watching Monday Night Raw to give our reactions and, have a good time with us. Come in there, kick it with us, you know what I'm saying? We're in the kickoff to Money in the Bank, because we're going to be seeing Money in the Bank qualifying matches tonight, so you definitely guys do not want to miss that. If you guys don't know about Money in the Bank, it's one of my favorite pay-per-views of the entire year, so you guys definitely don't want to miss that. Yeah, I appreciate you guys kicking it with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.